When we refer to the text, we know that the interlude begins with lines 135 and it ends with lines 260. So around 125 lines are devoted for the interlude, which begins with a prologue, and the prologue leads to the dumb show. And the dumb show is literally a recreation of the alleged murder of King Hamlet by Claudius on that fateful evening while he was reclining in his garden with his wife Gertrude. The play King and the Queen, they recreated the dramatic scenes leading to the death of King Hamlet with such a high level of realism and dramatic excellence that the royal couple, especially Claudius, could not watch the scene further when Lucianus poisoned King Hamlet by pouring a vial full of poison into his ears. And instantly we find Claudius standing on his feet and ordering the players to stop the play instantly. Hamlet is extremely thrilled by the mercurial expressions of King Claudius as he witnessed the murder recreated on stage. Ophelia, the king rises. Hamlet, what? Frighted with false fire? Queen, how fares, my lord? Polonius, give over the play. King, give me some light, away. Polonius, lights, lights, lights. Exit all but Hamlet and Horatio. Therefore, the dramatic enactment come to a standstill at the royal command of King Claudius, who does not want the play to be enacted further because of his moral compunctions and his remorse. And we find the royal couple and the entire audience leaving the scene, leaving behind Hamlet and Horatio to discuss further regarding their opinions based on the response of King Claudius. Hamlet and Horatio have very common opinion regarding the foul play played by Claudius as the murderer of King Hamlet. While Hamlet and Horatio were discussing about the overt expressions of King Claudius while watching the play, we find Rosencrantz and Guildenstern approaching them with a pressing request for an urgent discussion. And there the two friends tell Hamlet about how much Claudius is agitated and how much disturbed and worried his mother, Queen Gertrude, is. And he has been sent by Gertrude to be ushered to her chamber for an urgent talk with her. Therefore, we find the two friends coaxing Hamlet to open up his mind and his thoughts to them so that the sorrow and the untold feelings can be mitigated. Exactly at the time, we find the players coming in with the musical instruments in their hands, and Hamlet is requesting Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to play those musical instruments for him. And the two friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they answer negatively and tell him openly that they do not have the skill to play the musical instruments. So Hamlet is making a counter argument, asking them how can they play on him if they cannot play simple musical instruments as a flute. So the conversation between Hamlet and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are of great importance because we find Hamlet is becoming extremely vehement and critical towards them for the first time. And he is stating them that he understands and he could see through their character about their inner motive. Therefore, he closes the conversation by stating in clear terms that the two friends can irritate him, but they cannot play upon him. So that's a clear indication that Hamlet is a man of clear intellect and a very clear sense of discretion. Meanwhile, Hamlet is met by another usherer, Polonius, the counselor, who is sent by Queen Gertrude in order to usher him to her bedchamber. Immediately, Hamlet is dismissing all his friends and falling into a very important soliloquy. The soliloquy is a very short one of just 10 lines, but it is a soliloquy that reminds us of the fear-evoking soliloquy uttered by Macbeth in the play Macbeth. Act 3, Scene 2 is of utmost importance since it concludes with a soliloquy of just 10 lines. Even though it's a short soliloquy, it has relevance since it reminds us of the soliloquy uttered by Macbeth before he leaves to commit the act of murder of King Duncan. And Hamlet is filled with a surge of mixed emotions of anger, of disgust, of vengeance, and he feels as if the entire world, the entire earth is filled with evil spirits which are loosed and released from hell, from churchyard, and the entire earth is filled with evil, pestilence and vapor. And on such a night, he is preparing himself to meet his mother for a talk, and he decides to speak daggers but use none. And his decision is to shield him from all kinds of evil. Therefore, the soliloquy is a clear reminder of the moral sense and the ethicality of Hamlet, as he is more cautious not to taint his soul or to hamper his own eternal life.